Encouraging and very inspiring that thousands of people have taken the pains to come back to see what opportunities there are and how they can engage with the government and the people who live here to create a better, much more enriched, much more developed and growing economy in Ghana. So it's been very good.
The big I, investment.
Right.
You trot around the world to get people to come in, and you're looking at your own.
Yes, indeed.
How much do you expect?
Well, you know, it's not a question of how much I expect, but I wouldn't put a number to it, but what I suspect is going to happen is much greater engagement, much greater participation in the economy, much greater participation in the politics, and much greater participation in social mobility. Of course, the diaspora has always been important in the economy through inward remittances, and we've seen quite a bit of money go into the housing sector because people out there want to either invest in homes or send money to their parents, to their children, to their wards, to acquire homes, and they pay school fees from abroad and all that. So that engagement has been very significant. Indeed, it probably is the largest pop of real influx of cash money into the economy. And the estimation is that over the past 3 years, there's been an average of about $5 billion coming. But if I compare that to what GIPC, which is the investment promotion agency of the country, has done, which is an average of 2.8 billion a year, it pales in comparison to the inflows from remittances from the diaspora into various sectors of the economy. And so that whole constituency is a very powerful constituency to deal with, right. Because in terms of capital, they come in with cash capital, like we've seen through the remittances, but there's also human capital. They come with expertise, with exposure, with knowledge, and therefore act as catalysts in technology transfer and knowledge transfer. Indeed, they even act as catalysts for change within the society, because many of them come with all the exposure and do things differently, create businesses, and want those businesses run in a certain way. I mean, there are many good examples. Of course, the shining ones are Kendo Furiata, Kelly Gajipo coming back to set up Data Bank.
Just a few of them.
Patrick Ewa, Ashesi. But there are a lot of others who are doing amazing things that we don't even hear of them in the informal sector, especially in the fashion sector, in the food sector. I mean, some of the products that we are seeing now come on the market have global quality standards, you know, packaging and product quality. And I believe that these must be supported to build those brands as Ghanaian. I mean, today you hear coffee, and there's Ethiopian coffee, there's Kenyan coffee being sold internationally. But we don't hear of Ghana cocoa. You know, we need to actually put that on the map and say this is chocolate from Ghana, made out of Ghana cocoa. The only place I've seen real branding of the chocolate is in Korea, where there's Ghana chocolate. But we ourselves need to do that. We don't need anybody else to do that. And there are great Ghanaians doing a lot of these great products that we need to put out there, or most of them from the diaspora, you know. And of course, if you look at it today, a lot of Ghanaians in the diaspora either left for economic reasons or left to go get educated. Right. Many of them are coming back with the skills they've acquired and the practices they've acquired, the first world mindset. And that's going to be significant in repositioning the country in the direction that we want it to be.
You are involved in the promotion of investment, foreign direct investment.
Right.
But now probably we can coin and say foreign diaspora and investment coming in. Yeah. Is there space for the Ghanaian in the diaspora? I'm asking this because people in here might think that, well, they are coming back and they're going to take our space and the competition is there, so we have to frustrate them and they go away.
No, not at all. Not at all. I am not sure. I mean, there's too much space, and maybe that's their problem. That there's too much space, and when they come in, they want to see things go in a certain way, and it doesn't go that way, so they feel the frustrations. But I can tell you, it's not the case, because we've seen a lot of people from the diaspora, and I mentioned a few, who've come in here and done their own stuff and been very successful. There are many who come in and out all the time. They have businesses here, they do investments here, they visit friends and family. So it's a constant engagement. I am not sure that there's any reality to say that they are blocked or there's no space. On the contrary, there might be impatience from the indigenous people, the people who live here, from a lot of people in the diaspora who come and feel that things must be done the way they've gotten used to, and it doesn't happen that way. So they feel the frustrations, but it's in no way blocking them. It's a developmental process. I mean, everywhere, every country in this world has gone through phases of development. You know, I mean, I quite remember when there was a huge telecoms revolution in Ghana, and the telecom sector was liberalized. I mean, we had GSM mobile services here. The US didn't have GSM. It took them a while before they started doing GSM, but it was faster here. So every situation in every country goes through its own pains of change. And I think that in doing so, what we see is sometimes a bit of impatience.
How do we manage that, the impatience?
It's a question of engagement and communication, you know, and also for a lot of people to realize that, well, this is home. And I've come from a developed country. That country is developed because some took pains to develop it. Okay. And so we also have to take pains to develop ours. We shouldn't come in and expect that everything is spot on, tickety blue, clean. No, it doesn't work that way. After all, that's the reason why people left. So when you come back, understand where you're going back to and be the change that you want to see.
Beyond the summit, we understand this is not just an event, but a process.
Right.
Beyond the 4 days,
yes.
What do we expect?
We expect greater engagement. There's now a new diaspora office at the Office of the President that is actually putting things together to make sure that we can harness all the values and all the strengths and all the good things that the diaspora represents in our national development agenda. And so that is going to go on. Quite a number of them have been registered here already. That resource pool itself, I mean, the contact list is going to be very useful for looking for expertise, for looking for people with specific, skills that you want. And also for the engagement. It means that now at least we know who you are and where you are. And therefore, if there's an opportunity that we think that your skills and your abilities are best suited for, it's easy to contact you. But it also gives you an in into the country, that this is what it is. Now, the other thing, recognizing that it's such an important resource pool, is how to incorporate it into the policy agenda. So is there something that needs to be done specially for the diaspora, Ghanaian in the diaspora? For example, I'm very much aware that the Ministry of Finance is thinking of issuing a diaspora bond on the back of receipts from remittances. It's an idea that has been spoken over, talked about over more than 10 years. And therefore, that in itself is a very important part of the development, because then you can actually go out and issue a bond, significant amount, for various reasons. And therefore, that's also investment capital.
The data that will be compiled, the GIPC, would you be looking at that and be handpicking certain individuals to promote and to even encourage to promote and the rest of it?
Well, we believe that right now our doors are very open. In fact, we've had quite a number of people in the diaspora come over and tell us that, well, they can assist in accessing capital from wherever they are. They have contacts, they have business contacts, they have people they can relate to who are interested in investing in Ghana, and they can act as the conduits. So that in itself is very important. But our doors are also open. Our doors are open to everybody, both people who live here and people from the diaspora. When we encourage the engagement, the real thing is the engagement. That when you come in, with an open heart, and not necessarily expect something special to be done for you, but to expect that you walk through the same paths that everybody walks through and compete, evenly with everybody. And therefore, having the skills, having the capital, you already have an advantage anyway. So I'm not sure that to say that, well, because you are from the diaspora, you have to be treated special is a good way to develop the country. I would say you must be listened to. Some attention must be paid to you because you have certain assets that the country requires. And that's the way I would look at it.
Well, finally, any message to any of the diasporan guys looking at us, watching us, and expecting the boss of the GIPC?
Well, I mean, I'll say that Ghana is home which way you cut it. Once you're born Ghanaian, you're born here, you're Ghanaian. And we embrace you. I mean, for me, the capital of Ghana is just not those who live here and in Ghana. But any Ghanaian anywhere is a great ambassador, is a part of the country, and we'll embrace you as much as we embrace anybody who is here. All I'll say is that if you have something that you feel you can contribute, this is the time. It's an open government that is looking to engage and is happy to come in, and therefore we are all welcome, extremely welcome. And this conference has been a great idea. It's mobilized people to come over, it's created new friends, it's created new associations and new opportunities, and I guess many people are very happy about it.
Thank you very much.